that course, okay, widened my perspectives, okay, on the use of IT, okay, in really creating some transparency and efficiency in tax administration. That course also, okay, gave me some hope, okay, that okay, there is a future in terms of transforming an agency. Okay. I'm aware, okay, of certain practices, aware of certain SOPs, okay, but after the course, I told myself, it's possible. Now, unfortunately, okay, during that time, okay, Asia and the Philippines, okay, were doing well. Therefore, there was no urgency, okay, in terms of undertaking major tax reform. In Latin and also, okay, African countries, they started, okay, transforming, okay, their tax agency, and most of this country created an independent revenue authorities. Okay, there's some in Asia, okay, Singapore and Malaysia, and the model, okay, that they, okay, followed, okay, was that of New Zealand. So as early as the time, okay, these governments, okay, thought, okay, of really reinventing their tax agency. I was with agency, okay, as deputy commissioner. Okay, I was invited, okay, by Commissioner Chato to be part, okay, of the team. I replaced, okay, a retiring and retired official. Now, understandably, okay, I have difficulties because, okay, I came from the private sector. I did not, okay, rose from the ranks. In other words, I'm not one of them. Okay. I was 36 years old at that time. So after almost, okay, 3 years, okay, in '95, okay, I resigned. I tendered my irrevocable resignation. Now, for 2 reasons. Half of my savings, principal savings, were gone. I was with, okay, an auditing firm for almost 12 years. Okay, but I think the other reason is I realized that it's also difficult, okay, to initiate or suggest reforms, okay, if you're not the boss. So in 1996, okay, I was invited, okay, by a group of companies. I did rejoin, okay, the professional, okay, practice. Okay, I decided to accept an offer, okay, from an emerging, okay, group of companies. Now, one of my major tasks in joining companies, okay, is to establish a tax department. Now, little did I know, okay, that as a surprise would also hold a surprise for me. So, a few days after, okay, President Arroyo, okay, took her oath of office, I was invited, okay, to join her company through Secretary Bertram. Now, what was my reaction? Well, I declined initially and instead offer a short list, okay, of persons, okay, that they can consider. My reaction, okay, merited a personal meeting with the president. Okay, and in that meeting, okay, she requested me to help. So when the president is asking me to help, I think it's sometimes difficult, okay, to refuse. So fortunately, okay, or shall I say unfortunately, I accepted, okay, the offer of the president, okay, to join the government. But I made 2 conditions. The The first condition is I would be given a free hand in instituting reforms at the JR. And the second was I'll have a direct access to her. At the time, the first Secretary of Finance was Secretary Romulo, and a few months after, Secretary Nico Camacho took office. I requested for the second condition because the position is very political, and it's important to maintain the right direct communication line with the President. So she's aware of what's happening in the agency. There were many barriers, there were many constraints that the agency faced, not only at the time, but even today. What we did is really focus on just two: the public image of the agency and the constraints facing the agency. Let me tackle the first. A very rich growth for corruption. And now, a little later you'll see why this is so. Because tax laws are very complicated. I'm sure you have your own experience dealing with the agency. Perhaps the common experience that are shared by everyone here is paying or filing your capital gains tax. So, and it's not that easy, although if you look at the basis of tax, it is based on gross receipts, on gross payment. But the problem lies in terms of the valuation of the public. Highly bureaucratic process. As I mentioned earlier, I practiced with the JR for almost 30 years. And the JR is one of those agencies that have very bureaucratic processes. Now the reason being is, if you go back 30 years ago, there were a total of close to 300 laws that revised, modified, or amended the original internal revenue. So through the years, we have evolved from a very complicated tax system. And that explains why the tax processes in the agency is very bureaucratic. Third item, declining tax effort ratio. This is basically a measurement of efficiency in revenue collection. It is a ratio of revenue collection through GDP. And through the years, the tax effort ratio of the Philippines has been declining compared with other ASEAN countries. And this also explains why we have a continuing deficit. I understand that at the end of 2009, the total deficit of the national government is close to about 300 billion. It is the highest deficit that we have in this country. We have identified 7 barriers, constraints. Perceived lack of fiscal discipline. You've got to connect this not only in terms of revenue collection, but also in terms of how government spends the money. Low tax awareness and negative tax consciousness. If you look at the level of tax compliance of the tax-paying public, it's very low. And you get a variety of reasons why it's so. Unwillingness to pay the correct or any taxes. They say that Filipinos are oftentimes consistently inconsistent. We want better roads, we want better infrastructure.